Hello there. Welcome to Hungary.
Well, you've missed this lovely voice, haven't you? You pesky lot. Hello, welcome to the first race of the Season 1 Championship. Here on the Hungary ring, the scene of much drama last time. Hopefully we'll see as much drama this time with a lot slower cars. And there's a starting grid and we are about to go. 5 lights and away we go. It's a very good start for David Coulthard. He's managed to get away from Panis, and Raikkonen has managed to jump Panis into second place. It's a McLaren 1-2 at the moment. It's a fantastic start. Olivier Panis drops 1 place down into third, with De La Rosa in 4th place. I don't know if he gained or not. I think he stays. Irvine also stays as well, but he's already dropped back a second behind his teammate. Michael Schumacher, 6th place at the moment. And that is a spin for Irvine. And that's a huge traffic jam that's appeared now because of that spin for Irvine. He's been jumped by both of the Ferraris, and looks like the other BAR of is it BAR? No, it's a Toyota. Not sure which Toyota that is. That's Mika Salo, because McNish is behind us. Then we have Trilly, that was in 9th place. McNish is in 10th place. Alex Young in 11th place at the moment. We've got Jacques Villeneuve here in 12th. Then Jenson Button, 13th place at the moment, with Mark Webber closing in on him in 14th. Is he going to... No way past. Ralf Schumacher already dropping quite far back. Now we have both the Arrows cars. No, we don't. We only have one of the Arrows cars. It's Benaldo is in 16th. Pablo Montoya is in 17th. Massa is in 18th. And then the other Arrows is behind us. Heinz-Harald Frentzen 19th, with Heidfeld bringing up the rear as we start lap 2 of 26. Now there is a couple of rule changes to be aware of. The first rule change is people declare their fuel tanks, as we have a replay actually of one of the Minardis we're on board with. What's going to happen? He has an instant spin and loses his front wing. It is Mark Webber, and now he is stuck in the tyre barrier. We had this problem last year with Frentzen being stuck in the tyre barrier, and Coulthard is in the lead, and that's Panis in second. Panis must have overtaken Raikkonen somewhere. That was very brave of Panis, but judging by the fact that Raikkonen likes turning into people. Has to go around the second to final corner, with Panis looking at the rear wing of Coulthard. He's got quite a good exit, but David's got better traction. Here's a little look, shows his face, but nothing doing. The Minardi has moved out of the way. He's down the inside, Panis is, but nothing doing there. They were already put up a second ahead of Kimi Raikkonen, which you need more of a wider girth of a second when it comes to Raikkonen. Benaldi 15th, Heidfeld 19th, bringing up the rear. But of course Webber is now in last place, probably going to be lapped during this lap, which is quite strange. In fact, it's lap 3 and we've already going to see a lapper. Top 3 are already 3.5 seconds ahead of De La Rosa, last season's champion. And we've got the Ferraris in 5th and 7th place. Obviously got a better car than last season, because last season was terrible for them. They managed to sort out their problems, focus all their attention to this car, and have managed to so far be able to produce some sort of magic but they've got Mika Salo for company. Their stuff is currently spitting the two Ferraris at this present time as we cross the start finish line, and there is Webber. And a little drift there from Salo, but that is Webber, who has just come out of the pits and is in front of Barrichello. Is he going to hold up Barrichello? He still is at the moment, and there's no way of overtaking in this section. As we have the back markers now. This is Heitfeld, 19th and last. He's been dropped a little bit by these lots. Seinfeld Frenton in 18th place, and a little slide from Massa, which blocks Frenton and Heitfeld. Then we have the two Williams up next of Montoya and Ralf Schumacher, with Frenton 14th place, currently in the lead of the back markers and slowly pulling. Does it look like he's pulling away? I don't know yet. We'll might have to see, but he's currently 7 seconds behind Button in the Renault, so there is no chance, surely, of any of the back markers scoring points unless some miracle happens. Button challenging, but is Villeneuve, last season's runner-up, is currently in 12th place and not having a good race at the moment. As Button actually has a look down the inside of the BAR, but the BAR blocks very nicely. He's Villeneuve in 12th place as mentioned before. And then now we have Alex Young in 11th place and Minardi, and there's absolute carnage going on here at this corner. The number of drivers have spun around that corner. It looked like a Ferrari had gone off, a Renault had gone off. And now we have a huge gaggle of cars that have all concertinaed up towards each other because of the drama that's been happening in Turn 4. Gianna Trulli is currently in 10th place, the last remaining points position, with Rins Barrichello 9th place at the moment. And then Alan McNish in 8th place. So I do not know who spun. It looks like one of the Jaguars had spun of Irvine. That is Webber in front, not Salo, as I was about to say. That's Webber in front, blocking all these guys behind him. Still, maybe it was Webber that took out Barrichello. Who knows? But we have Salo looking down the inside of Schumacher in the Ferrari, but nothing doing, and a lot of teams have been struggling to overtake around that first corner. I wonder if anyone will pit early and try to get the undercut, with De La Rosa in 4th place at the moment. But it's up front where the two McLarens are. Raikkonen in 3rd and Coulthard is currently in the lead. Panis is currently in 2nd place. The sandwich in the meat in the McLaren sandwich at the moment. There's David Coulthard leading for the first time in quite a while, as we have a replay of one of the Ferraris. This looks to be Barrichello. Is he going to go for a spin? No, it's the Renault's gone for a spin, and that is a massive accident. One of the Renaults has lost his rear wing. I presume it is Trulli, and Villeneuve has just avoided it. That is Barrichello stranded in the middle of the track. Trulli is without his rear wing. He's also out of this race and is blocking Button like a treat at the moment. Button's already lost 4 seconds to Alex Young. Bernardi is currently 3 seconds behind and catching at a right rate of knots. He'll move up in 12th place after all of this. And look, Bernardi has already caught up to this train, and so has Schumacher, and the rest of the back markers have managed to catch up to Button because Trulli is not moving out of the way, even though he has not got a rear wing. There's Barrichello, he's already parked up and out of the race. after barrel rolling around turn 4, this corner that David Coulthard has just gone past. We've got Olivier Panis still in second place, still not overtaking the Brit / Scotsman / yeah, whatever. As we have a replay of the Minardi. Is this Webber again? Oh, he's lost his rear wing. Whoever it is has lost his rear wing. He's out of the race. That is actually Young, it looks like. Yeah, Alex Young has lost his rear wing and he's also out of this race from 10th place. So it's definitely not been a good day for the Minardi boys. With McNish currently in 8th place. That was Villeneuve in 9th place that we was just on board with. And Irvine is still behind the back marker of Mark Webber. As we have Mika Salo in 6th place. Diving into the pit lane. I wonder if he is on a 2-stop. He definitely can't 1-stop from here. There's not many drivers that think we're 1-stopping. We think the Jaguars might be 1-stopping. Everyone else might be 2-stopping. I don't think anyone would be 3-stopping. As this is no idea what sort of pit time it is because the classification results are still popping up. As Salo appears in 8th place ahead of Villeneuve, surprisingly. Then here is Irvine still behind Mark Webber. So Mark Webber does have the pace to stay ahead of Irvine, but he's out of position because of the accident he had on the first corner. And here is Irvine's teammate, last season's champion, De La Rosa, in 4th place at the moment. With Raikkonen in 3rd place still. Falling back slightly from Panis and Coulthard, it looks like. And Panis has had a really good exit off of that corner. David Coulthard has slowed down and Panis has overtaken him. What has happened to Coulthard? Why has he slowed down so much? There's no DRS in these days. This is back in 2002. What is Coulthard doing? He must have missed a gear change or something because that was terribly slow. But alas, Panis is in the lead. This is where he was in Japan before he retired. Was it Japan? It was Japan and Italy, I think he was leading, and both times he retired with engine failures. Anyway, David Coulthard lets Panis past, it looks like, and now Panis is just streaking away from the two McLarens. Currently got a 7/10 lead, it looks like. As we go past the fast sequence of corners where no overtaking happens. The corners of, I think 8, 9, 10, 11. Then we're through turn 12, I think. This little chicane. And then we go past this hairpin type corner. And then up the hill, but Panis is diving into the pits. The BAR mechanics are ready for him. And there goes both McLarens. Streaking away and into the pits. Speed limit is on. He turns into his box. Refuels for a number of laps. And it's a 7.3 pit stop for Panis. Is a very good stop for the BAR boys. Is he going to end up? He's behind Schumacher but ahead of Irvine, which will please the BAR of Panis, as Irvine is still probably being held up by the Minardi. As we have now David Coulthard entering the pit lane for his first stop, which means Raikkonen inherits the lead. And there's already someone in the pits. It looks like one of the Saubers, and he goes out as Coulthard goes into the pits. And he refuels. Looks like everyone is diving into the pits, and Coulthard is being held up by the Jaguar. Going down the pit lane of De La Rosa. De La Rosa is now parked up into the pits. The number 17 Jaguar green car. It's a 7-second pit stop for the Jaguar. That is a very quick pit stop. Not sure if that is enough for the one stop, especially with looking at what all the rest of the people were doing fuel wise. But he has ended up in 6th place. Irvine currently in 5th place. He is no longer being held up by Webber. Webber might have pitted. And there is the McLaren in the BAR of Coulthard and Panis. So Panis has kept his lead over Coulthard by quite a substantial distance. The undercut is definitely working in this track, as Raikkonen now goes into the pits for his pit stop. And I'm going to take a quick opportunity to take a drink whilst he goes down the pit lane. How very unprofessional of me. Anyway, Kimi Raikkonen turns into his pit box. Takes on a amount of fuel. And he is away. 8.5 second pit stop for Raikkonen. Is he going to end up in front of Panis? It's going to be tight. It's going to be very tight. And no he isn't. Raikkonen ends up behind Panis, but in front of Coulthard, which will not please the Brit, especially after he was held up by De La Rosa as he went into the pit lane. As we go around, lap around Hungary, no, because we're on board with Montoya, who currently occupies 10th place at the moment, with Frentzen right behind him, who's also probably going to stop this lap. Yep, there he is. Into the pits. Both the Williams and Arrows go. So it's a battle of the pit crew. It's a 3-tenth difference between them as they go into the pits. Montoya in 10th, Frentzen in 11th. Button is going to overtake both of these, as Montoya 8.3 second stop goes out, but the Arrows has come out ahead of him. Frentzen has managed to jump the Williams, and so has Bernaldi. Both Arrows in front of the Williamses. They are now in prime position, it looks like, for points if we have any more retirements up front. As we have currently the standings, Olivier Panis leads by 3.465 seconds over Kimi Raikkonen. Coulthard is 0.4 seconds back from Kimi Raikkonen. Pedro De La Rosa already made his pit stop. We have clarification that he is going for the one stop. He's just had a very quick pit time. He's currently 14 seconds back from Olivier Panis, so at the moment he could be leading by the end of this race. Irvine's currently in 7th place with Mist, who is 5th and 6th. One of them was a Ferrari, I reckon. No, it wasn't, because Ferrari's out. Oh no, it was a Ferrari. Schumacher in 6th place. Sarlo is in 5th place. We have Irvine in 7th place. McNish is in 8th place. Villeneuve currently in 9th place. Last season's runners-up. Not doing as well as it was last season. We're still waiting for the 10th place guy to come across the start finish line, and he is not going to be going to the results, but I can tell you it is Jensen Button that is in 10th place, as David Coulthard is being held up by his teammate. Are we going to have drama between the two McLaren boys? As Kimi Raikkonen goes round the hairpin, half a second back is Coulthard now, but they are 5 seconds back now from the BAR of Panis. Panis is streaking away. As is Raikkonen going to let Coulthard past? Yes, it looks like he is. Raikkonen still has his nose up in front, but he doesn't managed to pass Coulthard, who is now taken over second place from his teammate, and he can now chase down the BAR of Panis, who currently has a 4.5 second lead now over the McLarens. But the McLarens might be in luck, as look at this train that Panis is going to come up towards. Includes both Saubers, both Williams and both Arrows, all squabbling for 0 points, but Panis has to pass them all. And we've seen how notoriously hard it is to overtake around this track, as Webber is actually catching up to these lot. He was a minute behind the Saubers. This is now only 11 seconds behind the Saubers. As this is Ralf Schumacher now overtaking Montoya for what is now 13th, and we just saw in front the two Arrows actually fighting, and one of the Saubers came very close to hitting the wall there. It looked like Massa to me that it was very, very close to hitting the wall, as Frentzen is actually ahead of Benaldi. He wasn't ahead of him before, but these lot are actually only 8 seconds back from the 10th place guy Button, who is quite a ways away now from Villeneuve after the incident with being blocked by Trulli. There's Anna McNish here in 8th place. The Scotsman doing well for the Toyota, and Irvine 7th place, not doing as well as he might have hoped for, especially after what the Jaguar's performance last season. There's Michael Schumacher here in 6th place, doing a lot better than what he was doing last season. Then we have Mika Salo in 5th place, who is doing alright, especially after last season. And then De La Rosa, and they've caught up. The McLarens have actually caught up with the BAR, thanks to the back markers that they have not gotten past a single back marker yet. Is now the time they're going to pass a back marker. He'd had a look. He's having another look. Is he going to outbrake Heidfeld into the first corner? Yes, he is. One down, another 5 to go here. Next stop is Schumacher, it looks like, the helmet of, who has fallen back. He must have had a spin somewhere on track. Is he going to have a look? Nope. The last opportunity to overtake really is the chicane, and then after that the only opportunity is at the hairpin, as Mika Salo now pits from 5th place currently, and this is his second and final pit stop, and it's an 8.2 second stop for the Toyota team, and he is ahead of, it looks like, his teammate McNish. He is now going to the end of the race, as we have a replay of the Williams of, and that is a freeway. Oh, there's a massive pile up, and Panis has been involved in it. Panis has lost his front wing in all of that. I'm not sure what else happened. This is the the catalyst is already in front. It's Massa that spun. Then Ralf Schumacher crashed into him. Then Panis crashed into him, and Heidfeld has gotten away with it. So too has the now new leader, and that's one of the Minardis that's already out. And now Schumacher is going incredibly slowly, and so is Massa, and Massa is now holding up. That's Alex Young that's out. Oh yeah, he lost his rear wing, didn't he, in the first corner. Anyway, now here is the current leader. It's now David Coulthard that's currently in the lead. Raikkonen is in second place at the moment as they go and start their 18th lap. Now here is Panis, now actually holding up cars, as there's the Sauber now going into the pits. 3 people now going into the pits, all because of the crash. It was Massa, Heifeld was involved, but he didn't lose his front wing. The Williams of Ralf Schumacher, I think, might have been Montoya though, as he now retires. And Panis is in for a new front wing, but he's lost so much time at the moment. Where is he going to end up? Luckily, he can fuel to the end now, but he may even end up behind Villeneuve at the moment, and he will. He's currently now in 9th place. Villeneuve is currently in 8th place at the moment, but still has to stop. So does the Toyota of Alan McNish, who is currently in 7th, with Mika Salo in 6th place. So it's line astern for the 2 Toyotas and the 2 BARs. Eddie Irvine is in 5th place. He's now considerably closer to Pedro De La Rosa after the little incident, but how much has that hurt the Jaguar's chances of winning? He's now 22 seconds behind the McLarens. The McLarens might be able to do enough to get in front of him, but now the McLarens are catching up to the rest of the back markers that weren't affected by the accident, which is the Williams of, I think, Montoya, and the 2 Arrows cars, who have had quite a quiet afternoon at the moment. They're trekking in 11th and 12th places, as Coulthard has a little look at the 2 people in front. Anyway, Coulthard still in the lead, obviously, but still trying to find a way through. But them lot are battling as well, as Coulthard actually pits from the lead, obviously not wanting to be held up by any of them in front. This is a very important pit stop now for the McLaren boys. Can they get them in front of the Jaguars? And the stopwatch is 8 seconds. The Jaguars are currently 7 seconds back, but he's stuck to the speed limit. The Jaguars aren't. It's down to 3. It's 2 seconds. It's now 1 second. It might be enough, and it's not enough. Coulthard has relinquished the lead to the Jaguars. The Ferrari spins out in front of Michael Schumacher, but the McLaren is behind the Jaguar of De La Rosa, who has inherited 2nd place and what surely is the lead, as Raikkonen is being held up massively now by the Williams. The Jaguar is catching up quickly, and it's because there is a car going slowly in front. It looks like a BAR that's going incredibly slowly. Is it a BAR? It looks to be a BAR. It's gone incredibly slowly. The 2 Arrows is being held up by them as well, but Pedro De La Rosa is catching up with Kimi Raikkonen. Kimi Raikkonen is being held up by a car going incredibly slowly. Who is that? It is a BAR. Surely the BAR is going to pit. In fact, 4 people are pitting at the moment. It looks like all line astern. It's a BAR and Arrows, the sole remaining Williams, and the race leader Kimi Raikkonen. who's no longer going to be the race leader, as Pedro De La Rosa is already going to be ahead of him. So whatever happened there has meant that we now have a Jaguar in the lead. Coulthard is in second place, but is having a look down the inside of De La Rosa. But nothing doing there. Eddie Irvine currently in third place, also on that one-stop strategy that his teammate is on, as we currently have 7 laps to go. And Coulthard is looking, as we have an incident, and that is Montoya that's in 14th place. Crashed into the Minardi of Webber. Webber is now retired. What has happened here? It is an accident. Minardi has rolled and he's ended up upside down. That is the sole remaining Williams of Montoya, driving away without a rear wing, and he is also going to be out of this race. So we are now down to 13 runners in this race, as now Kimi Räikkönen is stuck again behind a bunch of back markers. Mika Salo currently in 5th place, who's being stuck behind a Sauber. Schumacher's in 4th place. He's not stuck behind anyone, surprisingly. Jaguar of Irvine in 3rd place, and Coulthard still can't overtake De La Rosa, or is he? He's got quite a nice toe there, but is he going to outbrake him? No. Pedro De La Rosa slams the door shut, and Coulthard stays in 2nd place. As we have a nice camera shot of the side of the McLaren and the face of the McLaren driver of Coulthard as they go past turn 4. Good car control from Coulthard to avoid the spin. Turn 5 now, and then we go into the slowest part of the circuit, turn 6, 7 chicane, before the fast section of turns 8, 9, 10 and 11, which replicates sort of the Maggots Beckett section of Silverstone. And then we are in turn 12 or 13, can't remember. No, it's turn 15 here. The third 180 hairpin, and then the 4th 180 hairpin in the final corner of this circuit. And that is a lap of the Hungary, brought to you by David Coulthard. And David Coulthard is now having a look at Pedro De La Rosa, and he's lunged it down the inside, but De La Rosa has a better exit. As currently the standings are, De La Rosa currently leads the Hungarian Grand Prix. David Coulthard is currently in 2nd place. Eddie Irvine is behind these two as well. Salo is in 4th place. Räikkönen is now in 5th. Panis is now in 6th after leading. Schumacher is currently in 7th place. That is a Sauber without a front wing of Heidfeld. So no idea what's happened there. That is a Toyota of McNish, who's now in 8th place. And now that is a BAR. And there's quite a traffic jam now appearing, with what looks to me like an arrows and the Sauber blocking the arrows and quite a few of the front runners. As is Coulthard now going? No, he's had a very poor exit from that final corner. The Jaguar has streaked away, as we now have 3 laps to go here in the Hungarian Grand Prix. 3 laps for Coulthard to overtake the Jaguar, as we now have as Irvine is actually falling quite a ways away from these two. We've got loads of drama happening elsewhere on the field that we're not watching. The front three, we were too busy watching the front three, yeah. As now we have a lovely shot of the Jaguar and the McLaren going through the slow chicane. Pedro De La Rosa currently leading, going through the fast complex of corners now. This Hungarian circuit for the 24th time. David Coulthard is visibly closer to the Jaguar, but there is still no chances for overtaking at the moment. He has a very, very small look down on the inside. And now through the final corner. 2 laps to go now for the McLaren driver to pass Pedro De La Rosa. Is he going to take one down the inside? No, he isn't. Pedro De La Rosa has taken the wider line, getting a better exit from that first corner. Lovely blocking work there from the Jaguar person? Pedro De La Rosa. Salo's actually keeping these lot honest. He's quite close to them. As we have Raikkonen in 5th place, Panis in 6th place, which is really confusing. Schumacher's in 7th place. That was an Arrows. Don't know where he was. McDish is in 8th place, but he's a full minute ahead of Frentzen, who's actually in 9th place. And the Renault is spinning of Button. And now he's got Benaldi in 12th place. It's Villeneuve in 11th. Heidfeld is the last car on track. He's just started his 24th lap. As the leaders are about to start their final lap. It's probably one of the final opportunities now for Coulthard, and he's had a poor exit around the final corner. There is no way now, I reckon, for him to pass, as he can't lunge it down from this. No, he's still in 2nd place, maybe through this corner, but he just didn't take his opportunity. He's going to have to take some risks in order for him to overtake this Jaguar. But he's had a poor exit around turn 4. Going around turn 5, he's still not close enough. Let's go through this chicane now. The very slow chicane. Currently 7/10 behind now as we go through the fast corners. There's realistically one last opportunity down the main straight if he gets a very good exit from that final turn. We're in the final sector now. Through the chicane, down towards the penultimate hairpin. He's had a quick look. He needs to get a good exit here. But the Jaguar has got a good exit. Is anything going to happen here? Coulthard has had a good exit, but it's not close enough. De La Rosa wins the Hungarian Grand Prix. He is left up from where he was last season, as Coulthard still tries to overtake him, but nothing doing there. De La Rosa leads off from what he was doing last season, and that is winning. David Coulthard, 2nd place in the McLaren. McLaren's first podium in God knows how long. Irvine rounds off the podium. It's a double podium for the Jaguars, which means they'll lead the constructors again leading off from last season, with Mika Salo popping up in 4th place for the Toyota. Very good result for them, as we now have a long wait for more cars to cross the finish line. It's Panis that's in 5th, 6th was, it looked to be Schumacher, so Raikkonen lost 2 places before the end. He's ended up in 7th place, and the results have gone, so I can't tell you who else finished where, because they're so all over the place. They could be anywhere, quite frankly. As we now have the Jaguar of De La Rosa, beautiful camera shot there, going around the hairpin, and into Parc Ferme goes the Jaguar. And they need to have a hard look at that car, because that car is ridiculously quick, especially on a one stop. And come on, give other people a chance. As we now have the classified result of the race. Pedro De La Rosa wins the race by 0.2 of a second from David Coulthard in the McLaren. In 3rd place is the Jaguar of Eddie Irvine, making it a Jaguar 1-3. Mika Salo, 4th place for the Toyota. He was less than 10 seconds back from the Jaguar. Who knows, on a better day it might have been him springing up to surprise. Olivier Panis, after all that he went through, crashing with, I forgot who it was, Massa. He ends up in 5th place from all his troubles, which is still quite a decent result. Again, a driver would be happy with 5th place if there weren't the top 4. Michael Schumacher, 6th place, the best result for a Ferrari driver since season 1, I believe. Kimi Raikkonen also had a shot at winning that race, but got caught up in other people's accidents. He's ended up in 7th place after losing keeps of time. 8th place is Alan McNish. Very, very quiet race. Did nothing wrong all race. Jacques Villeneuve, also another quiet race for the BAR driver, who was actually outside the points at one point in the first few laps. And last, after starting 19th, is Frentzen, who was actually holding on to 9th until the final lap, passed by Villeneuve. Button ends up outside the points. Very disappointing result, especially with how the race was panning out. Enrico Benaldi finishes in 12th place. Again, not a good result, especially from where the arrows were. And Nick Heidfeld was the last classified finisher on the circuit. And in the long list of accidents, with Montoya, Weber crashed with, was Massa, I think. No, it was Weber and Montoya crashed with each other. Of course they did. It was Massa and Barrichello who crashed into each other as Massa was trying to move out the way. Ralf Schumacher was also involved in that accident, and he retired as well. It was a three retirements, and Panis was involved in that as well. Remember, that was Alex Young, Jarno Trulli, 19th, and Barrichello was the last finisher. That was the Hungarian Grand Prix. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.